Good morning, everyone. My name is Linda, and I'm going to talk to you about PTSD and how it can affect someone personally and their military career. First off, I'm going to start off by explaining what post-traumatic stress syndrome is, what the symptoms are, and then I'm going to talk to you from my personal experience of how it has affected me and my military career. So let's get started. The definition of post-traumatic stress syndrome: it's a mental health condition that is triggered by a terrifying event, either experiencing it or witnessing it. The symptoms may include flashbacks, nightmares, severe anxiety, as well as uncontrollable thoughts about the event. We have all had these at some point in our life. Whether you witnessed a car accident, it's how you digest it and take care of it. So the symptoms of post-traumatic stress syndrome, they could start within 3 months of the traumatic event, but sometimes the symptoms may not appear until years later. These symptoms cause significant problems in your social or work situations and in relationships. This is why many members who have post-traumatic stress syndrome have problems maintaining relationships along with work. Their PTS symptoms are generally grouped into 4 types: intrusive memories, avoidance, negative changes in thinking and your mood, and changes in emotional reactions. So to quickly go over some of these symptoms, the intrusive memories may include reoccurring, unwanted, distressing memories of the traumatic event, flashbacks, upsetting dreams about the traumatic event, severe emotional distress or physical reactions that remind you of the event. The avoidance part, it's really obvious. You avoid thinking or talking about the traumatic event. Negative changes in thinking and mood, negative feelings about yourself or other people, inability to experience positive emotions, feeling emotionally numb, lack of interest in your activities, hopelessness about the future, memory problems, including not remembering important aspects about the traumatic event. Difficulty maintaining close relationships. The last one is changes in emotional reactions. Symptoms of changes in emotional reactions may include irritability, angry outbursts or aggressive behavior, always being on guard for danger, overwhelming guilt of shame, self-destruction behavior such as drinking too much, driving too fast, trouble concentrating, trouble sleeping, being easily startled or frightened. PTS symptoms can vary in intensity over time. So I found this information at www.mayoclinic.org. They have a lot of information regarding PTSD. I highly recommend checking them out if you have post-traumatic stress syndrome, or if you want to read more or learn more about it if you have a family member who has it. I went further because I'm in the Air Force, the Vermont Air National Guard, and I went further and I wanted to see what the Air Force has on post-traumatic stress syndrome and how they react to it. So, while growing awareness of PTSD in some branches of military has occurred in recent years, Air Force veterans are often undertreated as they battle the anxiety disorder. In fact, those enlisted in the Marines and Army were almost 4 times more apt to affirm the existence of PTS symptoms than those in the Air Force or Navy, even for those who have not been formally diagnosed with post-traumatic stress syndrome. Prevalence in PTSD for military members across the nation, the Veterans Administration found that nearly 400,000 military veterans in all branches of military were affected by PTSD in 2009 alone, ranking the disorder as the 4th most frequent disability connected with military service. That number floored me. While studies have shown that enlisted military members are twice as likely to report symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, many officers also experience the anxiety disorder after wartime experience. It can affect anyone. You don't have to be enlisted. You can be an officer. It can affect you. And I found that information at http://ptsdtreatmenthelp.com. PTSD marked by clear physical and psychological symptoms. I found this most important, and I want to really stress this since many people do not understand what PTSD, how it can affect you. You can have a hormone imbalance. It can affect you in multiple ways. Me, I have acne. I have little chin hairs that come out. I don't sleep well. It just affects you emotionally, physically, mentally. And not only you, but your family members and your loved ones. So in my case, I've lost 3 jobs because I had a hard time putting up with some of the things that the civilians wanted of me. I spoke up. And that's part of having post-traumatic stress syndrome. If you see something wrong, you have to speak up about it. It just eats you alive until you say something. And it doesn't matter how nice, how negative. You find in the civilian sector, they don't like that. And this really hit home for the simple fact is, I really like how they say post-traumatic stress syndrome, if you have it, you can have symptoms of depression, substance abuse, problems with memory and cognitive, physical and mental health problems. You can have difficulties in your social, family life, including occupational instability, marital problems, family discord, and difficulties in parenting. I found this information at http://www.military.com/benefits/veterans healthcare. The reason that post-traumatic stress syndrome is so important to many members is you're obligated to talk about it and bring it forth in your military career. And back when I brought mine forth in 2010, our clinic didn't know how to deal with it because we hadn't had many cases on the base, and they made it a point to tell me every time I went there how they could kick me out instead of opening the doors and how can we help you. You also have your coworkers that look at you like, oh, she's a freak. I can't work next to her. What happens if she goes postal and she tries to kill me, or she wigs out and she can't handle her job and I can't rely on her? So it's something that you live in the dark with. You don't really speak up. You learn to find a very quiet network of other members who share your disorder, and you learn to trust them and you work with them and you build up a great relationship. I'm very fortunate that I have been able to find this network and that I stood up tall and I fought what I wanted, which was to stay in the military longer, serve my country, and do my job, but allow me to speak up and say this isn't right. I wanted to bring post-traumatic stress syndrome forward and talk to people and let them know that just because you know someone who has post-traumatic stress syndrome doesn't mean that they're a freak. It doesn't mean that they have a disease. It means that they have served their country or seen something traumatic to them that stays with them forever. Next time you have someone that you come across who has post-traumatic stress syndrome, take a moment. Think what it was like to walk in their shoes. Thank them for their service and be their friend. Don't look at them like we're going to wig out or treat you differently. The military is coming a long ways. This is a problem that they had no idea was going to happen until it faced them. And they've been learning from their mistakes and moving on. I thank you for your time, and I wish everyone the best of luck. Thank you. Have a great day.